pants up. No, I mean to you, Mark Robinson, pull your pants up, because that suit could fit two of you. In the newest entry in my series of people you never want on your team during Black Trivia, I present to you Mark Robinson, a man who's been called both, quote, better than Martin Luther King Jr. and like Martin Luther King on steroids. And you might be thinking, finally, our time has come, a black leader to lead us to the promised land, just as Martin foretold. Hallelujah! But when I tell you the person who said this was Donald Trump,
this is Martin Luther King on steroids, okay?
It quickly becomes clear that this must be the kind of steroids that rots your brain, alters your mood, and makes you sterile. Now, I have no idea if Mark Robinson is sterile. I just hope so. Now, who is Mark Robinson? He is the lieutenant governor of North Carolina who's currently running for governor. And I can only assume the reason the Tar Heels bowed out in the Sweet 16 from this year's NCAA tournament, which featured no less than 3 teams in the Elite Eight that finished under them in the ACC, which they won. And no, I'm not bitter. But the thought of winning the tournament, then having to go to the governor's mansion and shake hands with Mark Robinson, that would motivate me to crash out too. This is a man who once called the civil rights movement a communist plot to subvert capitalism, and that so many freedoms were lost during the civil rights movement. And yes, that is true. Like the freedom to subjugate others. Gone. Where'd it go? You know, the most precious of American ideals. And while we're at it, you know when freedoms were really lost? When we made laws in the first place. Who needs them really? Now, my third when freedoms were lost would be when cargo pants went out of style, which still gets me heated. I mean, seriously, where am I supposed to put all this stuff? Now, as I outlined in my previous entries in this series, having a black face to spew this asinine defense of white supremacy is invaluable to the power structure. Let him do the work for you, and he might take a couple misguided souls with him. He's the inside man on the job that everybody knows is on the take and nobody trusts, but he's on the team nevertheless. The shameless part is because it's so invaluable, people like this will be elevated until their entire fraud is exposed. It only takes one with the right combination of self-hatred and shamelessness to pull it off. The kind of man that would post that he doesn't call himself an African American because Africans were primarily responsible for the slave trade. No, you don't call yourself that because we waived you in the racial draft. Now, very truthful jokes aside, you can surely point out the culpability that Africans had in the slave trade, but also absolving European and American responsibility, then extending to them credit for ending slavery.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Besides, you're in North Carolina. I just came from there. Some people still have Confederate flags up. What mental gymnastics do you do when you see that? Nah, see, the stars and bars is just presenting the fact that everybody could be a star. See, if you climb the ladder of the bars on the Confederate flag, you can become a star. That is how you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay, if we get more fathers in the home to help them pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get the culture situated, then we could climb up the bars to get to the stars. I expect better from North Carolina, the nation's most military-friendly state. Really? Is that what we going with? I almost crashed my car when I saw that. I mean, that was really the best you could come up with. Okay, I definitely expected too much. But Mark Robinson though, Mark Robinson, he is an anti-black all-star. Attack our music? Check. Back in 2017 on Facebook, he wrote, "Person, Beyonce is a role model. Me, the only person that butt-shaking, devil-worshipping skank is a role model to is people who want a fast track to hell. Only in 2024, do you get political points for sounding like 60s parents. That's the devil's music. And pull your pants up. No, I mean to you, Mark Robinson, pull your pants up, because that suit could fit two of you. Meanwhile, Sam Smith and Kim Petras did this. But Beyonce was the problem. I think I know exactly what about Beyonce was the problem. Attack our movies? Check. Robinson wrote that a satanic Marxist had made the movie Black Panther based on a comic book hero created by an agnostic Jew to pull shekels out of black people's pockets. Attack our politicians? Check. Robinson has repeatedly referred to Michelle Obama as a man, claiming she speaks ghetto, and you know how that goes over when black people call other black people ghetto in front of white people. Oh, Candace Owens was proud of that one. Yeah, her edges bowed. Referred to Michelle Obama as a man, claiming she speaks ghetto and Wookiee, and said that she emanates, quote, the stench of human waste. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris is a joke, a nitwit, and a leftist idiot who supports the right to murder the unborn. Now, the best defense that I can offer Mark Robinson, he doesn't just hate black people. He hates everybody that they tell him to, which is why you frequently quoted Hitler, referred to LGBTQ people as filth, and depicted Muslims as terrorists. Pretty much, if you're not on QAnon, Mark Robinson hates you. But ultimately, everybody needs a Heisman moment. That one shining memory that everybody will take with them and never forget what separates you from everybody else and common sense. And you, Mark Robinson, have the 2021 North Carolina Republican Party convention when you told a bunch of white people that black people owed reparations for slavery. Oh, they clapped and they clapped. You know what? You're right, Mark. I do owe my ancestors who fought for me to have a better life. But what that got to do with the money, Mark? I'm confused. What does that have to do with the money? See, when you fight and sacrifice for a better life for your kids and kin, you still get paid for the work that you do. And guess what? If you did it, they're going to try and get it. Is that how you've been operating, Mark? You owe somebody money, and then if their estate tries to get it, he sacrificed and fought for you. It's you who owes. Then again, I'm sure you're sacrificing and fighting for your family right now. So apparently, Mark Robinson, we don't have to pay you, ever. I'm sorry. No, we ain't got it. No, you know what? It's your kin who owes you, Mark Robinson. Let them make this right for you. Now, by the way, on the way to making this video, in the process of making this video, I did a little bit of research into the economics of slavery and reparations, and I was fascinated by what I found. In 1860, the enslaved population was valued at over $3 billion. In 1860, more than the railroads and factories combined. This was according to the Brookings Institution. So I had an idea, because I was going to go all the way left down that rabbit hole, but that's a whole separate video. I just want to have a nice little bow on dragging Mark Robinson to the white meat, and I want to focus on that one on a different video. So stay tuned for that, because I want to get into reparations and the economics of slavery. Stay tuned for that video. Also, I'm going to start a mailbag series, because I see a lot of questions that you guys have in the comments all the time, and I don't always get a chance to get to them. So I'm like, why don't I just make a video and answer you guys' questions? You can put questions in the comments, but the best way to send your questions to me is to email me. I answer my emails. I have an email list. I send out a newsletter. You send me an email. That is the best way to get your questions to me. So send your email to reese.waters@gmail.com. Again, that's reese.waters@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you get the next video when it drops. Unless you're Mark Robinson, I don't want you watching nothing. No, because you're gonna find a way to make it weird. You're gonna find a way to make it weird. I wouldn't even want you to watch it, because you might learn something, because you're gonna learn the wrong thing.